a sleepy Sonny came out. His eyes were so small that they had found a place on a mosquito.
Why don't you take the tigers out?
Because they don't want to. I have offered them my best sausages, but the tigers are just grumpy. Try it yourself, if you feel like it.
Sonny stood silent for a long time and tried to open his eyes. At the same time, he rearranged his thoughts from the dream shelf to the wake shelf. Slowly, the eye sockets opened and small candles were lit inside.
Have you tried the mustard? Susanna's special mustard? The strongest in the world? That tiger isn't born, who doesn't allow himself to be influenced by it.
I'll get it right away. Have a mug left in the kiosk.
But don't forget the sausages. A little sausage on the mustard is probably what tigers likes the best.
This time it went better. The tigers didn't growl any longer, instead sniffed very interested at first on the sausages. Then they started eating. They first licked all mustard off, before the sausages themselves slipped down. Then it became very quiet inside the two tiger carriages.
Strange that it became so quiet. We'd better take a look.
All the tigers lay unconscious on the floor. They were lying with their legs in the air and was breathing quite faintly.
Steam boiler. They are dying. The mustard was too strong. What do we do now?
Tigers cost a lot of money. And it was Susanna's mustard.
What are you standing and mumbling about? The tigers aren't dead yet. I know of one good thing to bring tigers to life. The mouth-to-mouth method.
The mouth-to-mouth method. On tigers. You don't know what you are talking about, Susanna.
I surely know this. Why couldn't one use the mouth-to-mouth method on tigers? They must have mouths too.
And so she got into the first carriage and began to blow air into the mouth of the largest tiger. Holding the tiger nose with one hand and bent down lower jaw with the other. Pressed down the tongue with the thumb. Just as it said in the manual. It was not long before the numb tiger opened its light blue eyes and moaned like a cat.
Take the opportunity and move it into the waiting room now. Now it doesn't hurt to fly. I take next.
The rest of the tigers went like on a conveyor belt. Susanna's mouth-to-mouth method was really effective. The big animals woke up already after a couple of breaths.
Well, then we'll take the lions then.
The lions were kind as little kittens compared to the tigers. They went in almost voluntarily in the waiting room. Not so much as a grain of mustard went to get them in place. The bears were also docile. All but one. He wanted to wrestle with Sonny. Admittedly, Sonny had been a wrestler in his youth, but against a bear he had no chance. He went on a flat fall, so it sang on the platform floor.
Brum, brum,
said Sonny. It meant in bear language, "It's good, I'm giving up." But the bear didn't want to let him go. Not until Sonny happened to sneeze and the teddy got his eyes full with soot. Sonny then came free and could check if all the ribs and other bones were okay. The rest of the animals were a clockwork to bring in. Admittedly, the camels ate all the timetable sheets on the bulletin board on the wall, but it was forgivable. Animals may also need to learn train times, and the camels were particularly interested in train connections south, towards the Sahara Desert where they belonged. The hippopotamus had difficulty getting in through the door, but with the help of 4 shoehorns it slipped through. It then went straight up on the luggage scale, so the hand hit the bottom and crooked. The scales didn't manage more than 882 pounds and 77 ounces. The last animals to sneak through were the snakes. They were a little troublesome. They didn't want to move out of their cart by their own accord. They just lay and hissed and looked unpleasant. They were large ones too, about 13 feet long. They are called pythons. They don't bite but like to hug their prey to death when they are hungry. Neither mustard nor honey helped here. The snakes wanted to stay where they were. In the end, it was Susanna who had to get in here again. She borrowed Samuel's ocarina and then played for the snakes. They fell asleep nicely and then she carried them one by one like giant necklaces around her neck. Now it was quite crowded inside the waiting room. One man who came in and wanted to buy a one-way ticket to South Bell was totally confused. When he arrived to the ticket window, a giraffe's head protruded through it. The man got an hiccup, but said he wanted a one-way to South Bell. The giraffe just stared at him. Giraffes don't usually talk much. One-way South Bell, repeated the man. But the giraffe still didn't make a sound. Instead, a chimpanzee got involved in the game. It rocked in the chandelier and jumped down and gave the man one handful with different tickets, mostly to Ireland and Finland. The man reached for his wallet, but he wasn't sure if he could afford it all. The chimpanzee shook his head and gave the man a whole bunch of tickets. Hadn't Samuel just come by, the animal would have given away the whole station as well. Samuel got his tickets back and the man got his one-way ticket to South Bell. You couldn't leave the animals unattended for a single second. They had 1,000 jokes for themselves and never asked permission before they started their tricks. Eventually the circus people came back and the animals disappeared one by one. In the square, the circus tent was erected, the orchestra was playing and it began to smell sawdust and circus all over Centerville. Finally, the circus director came by and handed over 3 free tickets for the evening's big gala premiere. But he didn't have a place for the rope dancing Susanna. She cried a little but thawed and beamed like a sun when the director handed over a medal, because she had managed the tigers so well with her mustard. He ordered £5 from her for future use, and better medicine for her grief she could never have had.